He has not made any gaffe since his election, since he started this journey to become president. He has not made a gaffe. And as we know, Asiwaju made a gaffe when he said that our local, that was a gaffe. But he took that hit. The reason I'm bringing that up is because Obi needs to have a gaffe. And I believed that so long as the general populace of voters age in Nigeria believes that they are less than 0.0000000% of those who have the bloodline, what you call the prince line, to be the ruler that they never did deliver on, because traditional rulers in Nigeria came after the 30 light years when the Big Bang, or the coming together of oxygen and hydrogen to start forming what you call water that may have given rise to our DNA from cell to organ to human. So when we become an embodiment of ourselves, we did go out there and populate other parts of the world. Traditional ruler in its own self were caught in the middle of when we people in Africa started going into the third world, into the other parts of the world to go as a merchant. When those people saw how smart we were, like the camel, the Egyptian and everything, they then came back and started throwing us under the bus, started doing us dirty. Traditional ruler did not come over there. In the Benin traditional history, they were talking about the Ogiso, which is the mimicking of the omnipotent, omnipresence, and omniscience, which I believe was instituted by Erede Nokpoko Yeye, which is a woman god. So after saying that, I want to go back now to say that Obi has refused to make what you call, he has refused to take away the gloves, and he wants to play the role of a gentleman politician. And he has not made any gaffe so far, like the way Obama did. Obama went in and told them, even though reliable sources were saying that the statement of people clinging to their guns, the middle class clinging to their guns and their Bible, was a gaffe during his political speech. I don't think it was a gaffe. I think what he said there represents what the common voters bloc were all about. And I am now becoming a little bit leery of Obi's lack of saying something that would, in a way, even close to a gaffe. Let's assume he takes this issue up, which is a $22 billion, 22 billion naira, 22 billion naira that Asiwaju is passing through the back door of the Cancer Institute, of the oceanography, to go say he's going to renovate the palaces across the country without even naming 11 of them on the document of that dossier. So what he's doing is literally taking our money and promising this traditional ruler who has no any other source of income and telling them he's going to build a palace for them. Like the what they call him, Okpaboro said that he's going to build, he's going to write a check to build the Oba Palace, Oba Atokpe, he said, stuff like that. So what I'm saying here is that there are arguments that I'm putting up that I do not think that Obama was a gaffe. I do believe that if Obi, for any reason, and I'm saying that and I'm going on the record, if for any reason he does not make it to the finish line to become what God or Allah or Aredenokoko wanted him to be, it is because he refused to take away the glove to show Asiwaju that he can play dirty like Asiwaju is playing dirty, because Obi is not ready to play dirty. And in politics, you have to have a gaffe, G-A-F-F-E, that people can say. For example, he could come out and say, $22 billion, the Gbajemila issue, Beta Edu, the one that started this, that's no longer with them in the administration, the NNPC debacle. This list just continues, and I understand his strategy, that if he goes on to go and start talking about the traditional ruler who pride themselves to have what you call a lot of constituency, then he might get branded as anti-traditional ruler, because the traditional ruler predates our democracy. It started during the time when they would say Ogiso, which is the god of the sky. Oba Atokpe said, okay, I'm now put up to argument there. Like what I'm saying there is that I did pick up on that in my last deliverable when I saw, I think it was Atiku Adair, something like that was talking, and I picked up on the fact that everybody kept saying that the opposition does not have that thorough put to be able to get to the next level. There are other stuff that they have brought forward. Like, for example, they said that the obstacle why the ceiling is still impaired for Obi, and they went in to say the absence of structure. And Obi made it clear. He says that structure that I'm going to try to break down. But remember, we're talking about 170 polling units, 170,000 polling units in the country. I believe too that he in as much as he said that that's what I want, the structure he wants to pull down, that structure too comes into the disadvantage, because as we currently speak, we have less than 1 million police officers. And in a by-election, like in the Ekiti election, in a dual election, in Jigawa, in Anambra, they can mobilize all the police, all these people who are going to go and give money and everything. But when it comes to the re-election of 170,000 polling units, how are they going to be able to spread less than 700 police officers to be able to man it? So if Obi may not have those chairman, those governor, those councillor, but he has what you call ordinary people like you and I who are going to try and go to man that boat. Okay, they were talking about the power of incumbency. So far, it's not working for Asiwaju, because one of the biggest person, I think he has visited Obasanjo since he has been in office. I think I saw him one way or the other. I think it was Dobale for Obasanjo somewhere. But But Obasanjo has come up with his own take when he talked about, I think it's Ogun State former Governor Osoba, and the guy is dead, and how Atiku wanted him to join hands with him to impeach him. Obasanjo was able to sail through. I give Obasanjo a lot of credit for 3 main things I'm going to say. The statement he made after the death of Murtala Mohammed, that he was against his personal wish to be in that position. He went into exile, came back, got jailed, and later on he became president, and everything he has done throughout his time were all in the best interest of Nigeria, which Ambassador came up 2 or 3 days ago that what that guy, what you call Atiku, is saying went flat because he was able to say everything, and he was saying he wants education, he wants healthcare, he wants security, and he wants everything that Obi has on the table that Asewaju does not have on the table. What Asewaju have on the table that is coming out of nowhere are things like how Batabiamela is eating like a fat cat out there, or how the kidnapping that is going on, he doesn't have no plan for it because he just wants to take care of himself. He can't take care of a country while he's busy taking care of himself. He had no plan. Whether it's because of his age, I don't know. And whatever they said there was a fragmentation of opposition. I don't think that's a problem because as fragmented as they are, Atiku can stand on his own. Obi can stand on his own. Asewaju can stand on his own. There are other draw factors like Kwankwaso being able to counteract Atiku in the north. Maybe Atiku's running mate, Amechi, maybe will counteract Obi in the south east. But on the long run, there are people like Oyo will go for Makinde. Adebayo will go for Ogun, Ondo, and Showore would help to take that away. So these are, I know Benin, Edo is going to go for Peter Obi because Okpebolo was imposed on Edo State, but he's doing a very, very good job because he's taking the money that that is going straight to his coffee and doing stuff with it. It's not like, I think Obaseki was busy thinking about how he was going to do what you call technology, how he was going to put in internet. Those things don't come up as nobody sees them. Children are coming from school to come and say, well, we are seeing the flyover and stuff like that. So the fragmentation, I don't think that's going to be a problem because it wasn't a problem at first when Obi won 6 million. I am going to wind things up by saying that I did make some other point to say that your health is very important to me, and your health is just as important to me as just like my hair. I am dragging in ages, and my health is 100% sound because I fell down and I was able to get up. And I want to believe that. But Shiwaju fell down too when he was in Turkey and he was able to get up. So what I'm saying here is that your health is important to me, and I want to bring two exercise in. And this is, I want you to go and Google this. There's a woman called Susan Young Brown, Browne. She's a 108 years African American. She's 108 years old. And when she was time to give us why she was able to get to the point where she is right now, everything that she says as what I have done. She was big on you go ahead and get you an education. Whether it was against your wills or not, go get it. She's very big on what you're going to eat, even though she might be talking about eating grains and everything, which is the most expensive part of the budget of what anybody wants to eat. She did say that you should keep moving. And she said things that I personally, she's closer to omnipotent, omnipresent, and omnipresent. And I must close it out there. But let me quickly say this. I want to say that she was born in 1943, 45. She graduated from college in 1945. So that was even before Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and all this. It was even before the people like India, Indira Gandhi, in which he went to South Africa. He was a lawyer in this, lawyer in that. So the reason I'm bringing all that up is because this woman had one thing going for her, and I'm going to give it as a secret now. If you don't know, take your pen and write this down. But before you write it down, first of all, do me a beautiful and send me a subscribe to this channel. Write comments. Tell me where you are listening to this from. Whether you are in the diaspora, whether you are in Lagos, whether you are in South Africa. I want to know. Not only that, I want you to know that in as much as you may have seen me castigating somebody like Trump and say he's a racist, which I know he is, but keep in mind that no matter what destruction he's doing right now, what the sailors put that say in Iran, which I think that's a Muslim-Christian war. A lot of people are going to get bad during that war. But there are people who are not going to get bad who are still going to be living. Among them is someone like Susan Young Brown, who had lived as a teacher, married twice, and still living a good life today. So what I'm saying is that many are called, but few are going to be chosen. The few that are chosen, that is going to be the sacrificed lamb for the future of other people who will always be there. And the sacrificed lamb happened to be somebody like Obasanjo, who I have come and believe in that he is going to be going down in history as George Washington. He's going to go down in history like Stalin. He's going to go down in history like all those people who have the forefathers and the foremothers of the Western civilization, like Martin Luther King, Spinoza, and all those Pluto and all those kind of people. And I'm putting that heavyweight on Obasanjo because he has exemplified that if I even wanted to say anything in the bad about the Yoruba, I cannot say the bad about the Yoruba so long as Obasanjo is not in any way Yoruba-like. Even though Atiku tried to castigate him and said, you're going to try to hand over this election to your brother. And he has just come out 2 days ago and said that, pundits and say that he's the one that brokered the Kwakwaso Obi stuff. I want to ask Gladima to that. I want to add Shatima, before what you call Baba Ahmed to it. And I want to add Kwakwaso to it. These are people who are trying to brokerage this whistleblower, bad whistle, dog whistle in the north to see whether they can be able to blackmail Obi. So I have covered a lot of ground. And I have said that finally I've got to a point where I want you to also know that there's a guy called Dr. Chidi. And his philosophy was that if it takes you to eat, you see a donut, first of all, you grab you apple. I said, I'll eat that donut 30 minutes. Let me eat an apple now. 30 minutes later on, you want to take it, you grab another apple and eat the other apple and say, I'll eat that one 30 minutes later. Then that's an hour. After a while, in about 4 or 5 hours, you want to still remember the donut is still there. You go grab it again and come back and say, let me eat this last one. If you have eaten 5 apples and you still eat your own donut at the end, you have neutralized the salt, the sugar, the milk, and the carbohydrate that may have clogged your artery. That was his signature. I want you guys now to send me send me a direct message to my 234-7033627981, and I will send you this Dr. Chidi's clip. He has a very thick accent. I think he was born in Europe. He's educated there, and he was a heart surgeon, and he spoke about heart disease. I told you to go on a plant diet. He spoke about high blood pressure, and he was talking about the fact that nitric acid is the cause of high blood pressure, and you should go on a plant diet too. He talked about the difficulty of if you are swimming in a lake, you can swim fast. But let's assume you are swimming inside the honey. You can't swim fast. That is the difference between your arteries when it's clean and your arteries when it's clogged. He talked about dementia and stuff like that. He ended up saying DIS and left space and then SISES, which means this easy. This easy, which means disease, as a result of the fact that a plant diet can be able to help you with cancer, it can be able to help you with heart disease and stuff like that. And I want you to go listen to it. The only area where I saw, and I didn't expect him to even clarify that, was when he said that he was telling people not to stay away from processed white food like white bread, like maybe pounded yam, like white rice. He didn't have to say that this is not a racist statement. What he's saying there is that this is a guy who is using one hand to give and use the other one to take it away. He's making money out of what he gave out there. So again, I've covered a lot of area and I've made a lot of whips here. But what I need the most is people going to go buy my book, buy my books. That's the area where I need help. Not only that, I also need area to allow me to be able to have what you call the monetization of this program within the shortest time possible. I know I'm going to get there. But if you, by any stretch of imagination, start thinking that I'm not going to help him out, you just break the last rule that Dr. Chidi put yesterday in his clip. And what he said there was that if you find that you are depressed, the only thing you need to do is keep on moving around. Not only that, try as much as you can to help other people out. When you are helping other people out, you are helping yourself out. If you are not seeing this thing inside your heart, that you're not going to help me out, you've only destroyed yourself, not me. Because as I speak, I have a family that is telling me to go sunset. Don't do anything, Uncle David. We'll take care of you. They gave me a 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom house. They gave me gas to cook. I have television, which I didn't even plug on. I have refrigerator, which I can use 24 hours. I have solar, 24 hours sellers. I even have to the point where, since I've had solar, people in my neighborhood comes to my place and plug their solar in, and I don't charge them for a single dollar. I am helping out. And if you feel in your heart that I'm asking you to do anything for me and you don't want to do it, it's on you, not on me. My name is Okesobai Dada. I love you guys. May God bless Nigeria. Oba Atokwe. May God continue to bless the United States of America. Bye-bye.